are many people in the world who really don't understand. Freedom has many difficulties, but we have never had to put a wall up to keep our people in. Freedom is indivisible. And when one man is enslaved, all are not free.
Modern war has become a struggle for men's minds as well as for their bodies. Today we face an enemy who spends enormous sums of money and manpower all over the globe in an attempt to subvert the thinking of the people of the free world, to confuse, divide, and ultimately to subjugate.
It is a contest unlike any we have ever faced in our history as a nation.
Contest for the minds and hearts of people around the world, all people.
When power corrupts, poetry cleanses. We must never forget that art is not a form of propaganda. It is a form of truth.
Psychologists find that control of emotion can be gained by understanding the stimulus-response pattern. Many everyday things become associated with these primary stimuli, partly by a process called conditioning.
It's a strange, shadowy world. The doctored photograph, the misquotation, the insinuation, and the lie.
I think of fire in connection with emotion. Cause, effect.
You've got to get a hold of yourself.
We have to work together. You have to help.
We'll light our country and all who serve it, and the glow from that fire can truly light the world.
Yes, in modern warfare, our military leaders are finding that words and ideas are highly effective weapons.
Resolute Exposure is a social media platform. Almost all content on Resolute Exposure is created by citizen journalists. I share content created by citizen journalists who I believe to be the best at finding facts buried deep into the abyss, or outlets who I believe to be best for verifiable information. We have to operate within their system, and we only have the information that they allow us to have. These citizen journalists who nerd out on fact-finding missions and then add their opinion to better inform me, to make the best choice for me in this war of narratives, is resolute. This information war is a battle for your mind and ultimately compliance. While mainstream media dismisses social platforms as mere echo chambers for fake news, independent spaces like this prove that shared content and live dialogue actually foster deeper critical thinking. So, I am excited to share the content in hopes you'll turn off mainstream media, who I believe is just a version of entertainment. So again, welcome to Resolute Exposure. The views and opinions expressed in this podcast are those of the individual speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views of the host, producers, or any affiliated organization. This podcast may include sensitive discussion related to topics such as child protection, abuse, and criminal behavior. The content is intended for informational, educational, and awareness purposes only, does not constitute legal, medical, or professional advice. Any reference to individuals, cases, or events are based on personal perspective professional experience, or publicly available information and should not be interpreted as statements of fact regarding any specific person or situation. The host, speakers, and producers disclaim any liability for actions taken by listeners based on the content of this podcast. Listeners are encouraged to seek qualified professional guidance for their specific circumstances. Listeners' discretion is advised. All individuals are presumed innocent unless proven guilty in a court of law. All right. How are you, Jason? What's going on, man?
Great, you?
Yeah, I'm good. We're short two this evening, and Robert had a prior engagement, and if he gets an opportunity, he might pop in maybe. And she's pregnant, so from time to time she may miss an episode based on the fact that I don't know how far away she is, but I think anyway, she may need days where she has to have a little bit more rest, so she won't be with us this evening. But hopefully everything's going good. How's it going in your neck of the woods, there, Jace?
Going good.
Going good. So that means tonight, you and I were going to talk a little bit about this Pellissippi Parkway extension project, and I know it's a big topic in the community right now. I wished Robert was on the show because he's pretty bit more knowledgeable about the stuff. But what I do have is I have like a PDF that was sent to us that talks about the actual areas of everything that's going on. We have a little bit of a breakdown from I think Kevin J. McNeil that I have on here. And then there's some commentary in the comments. Everybody's asking questions, that kind of stuff. So, and then we got the live chat going on. We got Kim in there and Scrappy Dog in there on Rumble, and we got Facebook going live, and then obviously we have YouTube going as well. So, and then the other thing I wanted to, I don't want to spend a whole lot of time talking about it, but is our prior elections. That we had with the primaries. We know that the numbers were up from previous elections. It's somewhere in the neighborhood of a little less than 16,000 voted, I think is what the numbers were. I don't know the breakdown exactly on how many votes were voted on the day of the election versus votes on early voting. I'm pretty sure that breakdown will eventually happen if Kevin doesn't get it out there before anybody else does. You know who Kevin is, correct? I mean, maybe not personally, but just off of Facebook. Does a phenomenal job with the information and how fast he gets it and puts it out there is amazing. Because some days when I open up the Facebook chat, he's got 8 or 9 things that he's posted on there. And some
he's
of
got
that
moles somewhere.
He's got what?
Moles.
He's very very good at what he does. I think he does a lot of public records requests, if I'm saying that correctly. I don't think it's a FOIA because that's a federal thing, dealing with the county and all that, but he seems to dig up the information the way that he does, and man, he captures people's attention with it for sure. And so
well, he knows just a little bit ahead of time what to talk about or what to ask about. It seems like
right, or he's done good enough investigative research over the years that he knows where to look and how to look, and that kind of stuff. So he may have somebody that feeds him information from time to time that helps him get started down that avenue. I don't know. I just appreciate all the stuff that he shares with us out there, so that we can put it out there so that or share it in the masses, with the community, because all this stuff, you got. Okay, so so that I stay focused, we'll talk about the election. So we know that a few commissioners lost their seat. I don't know the exact number. I think it's 3. And then we have those 3 new ones that would be taking those plus the others on our commission. And I think that happens in when do they get sworn in, Jason?
August, I think.
Okay. So from now until August, we have the same people that have been in there for 4 years to finish it out, right? Until they're sworn in,
Yep.
correct? Yeah. So, so we had that go down as far as the voting. The sheriff with Barong and Burns. Obviously, Barong got almost 10,000. Jerry got a little over 5,000, which was a strong showing. It's a good voting base. So, what do you think is going to happen over the next 4 years? Just my opinion, Jason. If he doesn't retire in 2 years and try to appoint somebody and have the commission help him with that, then he's going to serve out his time and either try to run again or not run at all, and then just let I don't know. You'd probably have a bigger pool of candidates for sheriff, wouldn't you think? Maybe.
You would think, but I don't know if he can let it go.
Well, that's true because he's what? I don't know if he's his late 60s or early 70s, but he's in that area. And so he's the longest tenured sheriff in the state of Tennessee at 37 years with Blount County. And so he has a voting base that's probably nearly the same age as him. I can't imagine that he has that many young voting base after everything that I saw over the last month and a half when it came to social media, even on X, some of the stuff that was on there. And then here's the other thing: he campaigned none. I think he did his meet and greet. I think he had a Facebook post that said, "Sorry, he hadn't been out doing door to door because he was a working sheriff," and then maybe one other thing I don't know. But I did see that after he won, he was on Facebook pretty regularly for about 48 hours, letting everybody know thank you and that kind of thing. It was more interaction that we'd seen from him during his campaign, which leads me to believe that when you have a bank of 9 or 10,000 people that you can guarantee they're going to be there, you really don't have to campaign the same way. And he's not really had a whole lot of resistance for sheriff in the 37 years. It's almost the definition of a tyrant. Not that I'm saying he's a tyrant, but his length of time, because like you said, he doesn't want to give it up. He doesn't want to walk away. You know what I mean? It's one of them deals where he's king of the county. I don't know. It matters who is mayor or on the commission, because Brong is what runs the county. You know what I mean? And so, and I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I just think that system, that old system, is in place. You know what I'm saying? As far as how the county is voting. So I have to imagine in 4 years, if he lasts the 4 years, whether he runs or he doesn't run, that there's a good part of his voting base that's probably not going to be alive in 4 years to be able to make that vote again. And then that's just a prediction, because I think that they're up there in age. You know what I'm saying? I think he has
the boomers.
He has an elderly voting base, yeah, for sure, that consistently vote the same all the time. And here's another thing. We had a lot of people talk about change and all the things that they wanted, but then even with the almost 16,000 voting base that we had, that wasn't good enough to defeat this good old boy system. So, for example, sheriff retains sheriff, registered of deeds retains its position. Phyllis Crisp has been there for a long, long time, and she had she had nearly, I would think that whoever voted for Barong also voted for Phyllis, because that was around the same number of voters that we saw. And then we also have, I forget the guy's name. I think his last name is Bryant, county clerk, where he was, he was appointed that, and then the office actually funded his schooling to make sure that he was prepared for the job when he was elected. So they knew ahead of time that they were going to win that, regardless of who ran. Although Allen did a fantastic job and was qualified to do the job. So and then I think there's one more I'm missing that were pretty much got the same amount of votes as the sheriff did. You know what I mean? So it's that voting base is what I'm talking about. Let's see. It says Scrappy Duck says it's funny how the deputies have to retire at 60, but the sheriff can be up into his geriatric years. Now there's some truth in that. I don't know if that age is specific if you're just a sheriff that you don't have to retire at 60, but those were the rumors. We heard some things about it being fact and not being fact. I don't know. Maybe we can get somebody out here in the future that would actually collaborate that that's what's happening in the sheriff's department. Do you know much about that, Jason, about being pushed out at 60?
No, I did.
I,
What? Weren't they asking people? I think weren't they asking people to retire?
well, we heard a lot of things for sure, but I don't know. I don't know if it's like a specific rule or like a code of ethics or just what they do behind closed doors, type thing like that, or or it is an actual rule, and only the sheriff, like if you're an elected sheriff, because your duties are much more greater in aspect than just like patrolman or jailer or detective, whatever those roles are. You're probably more administrative than you are. Um, actually maybe hands-on like day to day. I don't know how often Brong is in a squad car, um, pulling people over, that kind of thing. I don't know how often he has his uniform on versus a suit, that kind of stuff. So but we have heard that at 60, unless you're sheriff,
I can
that
go.
they what's that, you looking it up real quick?
Yeah.
Good, because usually Robert or Crystal's on that, and because they're not here, Jason, I'm going to try to throw that on you. You know what I mean? So he says, wonder what the number of county employees are. That's a good question. And he says it's a rule. I have a friend on the force that will be retiring next month. So it again, I wished I was more educated on that part of it. See, some of these things don't interest me as much as the other parts of what's going on in the county. You know what I mean? What interested me was the amount of voters, because on my Thursday show, when I do Caught Up, I'm big on that votes can be manipulated. And so when you don't have a large voting base show up, well, then you don't necessarily have to manipulate things because uh, you know you're going to win based off that voting base automatically. Does that make sense, or do I sound like I'm just rambling on? So
No, it
um,
makes sense.
yeah, because so I would like to know. I was told that Braun works 18-hour days, and that kind of stuff, and being up there at the age that he is, I could see maybe he does a good percentage of his time taking care of administrative, God, that word, those duties, and so uh, a part of his time wouldn't necessarily be behind it, or the biggest part of his time would probably necessarily be behind the desk, and then after that, probably taking calls at the house, once he left the office, that kind of thing, or whatever event that they had going on, or that type of thing. So, um, but I just a man his age, I just don't see working 18 hours a day. I'll be 52 in a couple weeks, and I can tell you, Jason, I don't want to work 18-hour days. I mean, I work almost 10-hour days, 5 days a week as it is, and then to go home and take phone calls, to have to go back in and take care of something would be rough on me at 52, let alone my late 60s or early 70s. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to be uh, as nice about it as possible. You know what I mean? As far as Is he going to be able to, last the next 4 years based on his age and maybe some health conditions that might arise? You know what I mean? So, but these are all questions that are going to be answered in the next 4 years because I think if the people in the county truly wanted real change, the way that they talk about it on social media, then they would have showed up at the polls to do so. So I congratulate the 16,000 that showed up to vote, whether you voted for the candidates that I liked or the vote or you didn't. But I wished we would have had a 30,000 or a 40,000 vote turnout. You know what I mean?
Sure.
Right, Jason? I mean,
You should have been a 95,000 turnout.
well, I would say the same thing. It's not a presidential election, so they all think that it's not as important in the county elections. Are probably more important.
That makes zero sense to me. But police do have to retire, but due to the physical demands of the job, and the retirement's different. And it says some can do it after 20 years of service. At 57, if you've been with the service for 20 years, 20 years.
Right. So you came in your late 30s,
Yeah.
Yeah. So I wonder how many that are 60 right now that have to retire, and then do they have the retention retained to fill the positions? Because it's already, according to some people, they don't have enough. I don't know. I think there's probably too many, but that's just my opinion for a county that we have. I mean, when I did the research, we have as many officers and what it takes to supply them as the 4 biggest counties in the state of Tennessee. So, and well, that's a lot.
Right. I know they got enough cars to for everybody in the whole department to drive one if they wanted to.
Yeah. So, but anyway, that's my whole thought process on the Bronx thing. It is odd to me that the commissioners, when they the ones that decided to publicly promote each other, that they didn't promote or publicly announce who they were voting for when it came to sheriff, when it came to county clerk, and when it came to register of deeds, but they all openly pulled or promoted each other on the commission board. Well, you would be aware of that because you ran against in the biggest part of the commission in county or District 4. So obviously you saw some of that going on as well with the I don't know how. Well, we saw a billboard that had them all. I think it was Mike Akers' billboard, and basically he was, these are the districts, these are the ones that he helped promote there. I think is it the ETC? Is that the right name for that group? East Tennessee Conservatives. When all of them that were out there.
I don't know. I don't know that one. I didn't know. No, I didn't. Know them people like that. I didn't.
Well, they did it at that church.
Oh, no.
I thought that's who that was. I could be wrong, but they were all together. All those commissioners were together on that stage, talking. It was like their public meet and greet, and I think all of them, I could be wrong, won their district. That were on.
Well, I know. Yeah, I mean, okay. I know what you're talking about there.
Yeah.
I mean, obviously wasn't invited to that. It was just for the elites, and they won.
So they said that they were members that were part of that, and that so those guys were obviously invited, and the rest of it was an open invitation publicly. So like they're trying to say if you didn't show up, it wasn't because you weren't invited. You just didn't have that formal invite. You know what I mean? It was a public
Oh.
invite though. There at the very end, um, but
Hmm.
where I was going with this is they all promoted each other the way that they did, which is fine. I just had never seen it that way. But what I wondered is why they didn't um, talk about who they wanted for a sheriff and county clerk and register of deeds. And I think I know who
Right.
they all voted for sure. But they didn't publicly say that, which was odd because everything outside of that they sort of did publicly say. You know what I mean? And again, I'm not saying it's a bad thing because let's see. Scrappy Dog says East Tennessee conservatives meet at Rio, yeah, on Duncan
Yeah.
Road Ridge. So I was right on what I was saying, um, and and that's okay. I just but we did those candid conversations with all of those new candidates, you included, and then we did a couple with Melissa Marinville. But there was a period of time there where after the election where I saw that they said that all of the Resolute's picks lost. That should say something. And so I did want to answer it because here's the thing. We still have these anonymous accounts on there. You see that, Jason?
No.
No, you not see the
No.
anonymous.
No. I thought you said you got rid of them.
No, well, what I did is so like if you post on these other pages, these groups, they're still inside those groups, so they still talk. As far as Resolute Exposure, if you were an anonymous account that was a friend or something like that, and you wouldn't give your name, then yeah, I got rid of you because I got asked. Well, if you're Resolute Exposure, you're hiding behind that, but not your name. Well, Resolute Exposure is the name of the podcast, which is the name of the Facebook page. But in the description of the Facebook page, I clearly say that my name is Brian Riley. You know what I mean? So I'm not hiding behind Resolute Exposure. I'm promoting my page and my podcast. So, but I have made it clear very often that my name is Brian Riley, and these things. Well, we interviewed people from different districts. My district had Roy Hoot, Tate Walker, had Kristen Delaney, Jeff Joplin, and Gordon Wright. Right. But we had Farah, we had you, we had Catherine. Boy, I'm missing some. We had um, uh, Shayna.
Delaney?
Yeah,
Christina Delaney?
yeah, we had her too. Yeah, but we had. So the only one that was in my district was 8, which was Christina Delaney. She came on, and then so. But anyway, my point was some of these we couldn't even vote for because they weren't even in our district. But we gave them a platform. Austin Penn, you know what I mean? Chris Mann for school board, which was cool because we didn't have anybody reach back out to us for school board, which was fine. You know what I mean? But he did. So anyway, where I was going with it is that the only one that I promoted specifically continuously was Jerry Burns for sheriff because it's no secret that I thought that Barong was past his prime and it was time for him to go play golf. Um, let's see what else. We promoted Alan Latham at the county clerk based on the fact that the other guy was already in office doing the job, and they were schooling him to do the job. So, um, which we thought was questionable, right? So, so
Well,
then there's Alan, right? So then I think I pushed Beth Myers Reese for was it Register of Deeds because like Barong, Crisp has been there for forever, and it's time for her to retire as well. So, but other than that, we just did a fantastic job sharing, the other information and some of these candidates that they like, Christina Delaney. That was a 3-way race there. You're district was rather large, but Robert similarly gobbled up the biggest part of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
As far as the votes go. And then I'm trying to think. But anyway, we gave these people a platform, you included, to be able to put out there what you thought you could do for change if you were elected. So if they don't like that, then that's fine. They don't have to like it. So. But I did do my best to get rid of any anonymous accounts, any accounts that were fake accounts, like they had some goofy ass name and they were hiding behind it. Because I'll tell you, I'll just go ahead and say it. Some of these accounts were commissioners and friends of commissioners. And so I called those gatekeepers. And if you said something about the commissioner that they didn't like, then you had these anonymous accounts or these fake accounts come after you, or other people, not me necessarily so much, in ways that wouldn't normally happen. I don't believe if these accounts were, you had to use your name legitimately. You know what I'm saying? Where it was public knowledge that this is who you were. You know what I mean? So when I talked about Roy Hoot, when I shared his whole conversation with me, when I talked about, um, going to the meet and greet, not as Resolute Exposure, but as Brian Riley, because they were in my district. He's the one that said he would come on my show. You know what I mean? He said that,
Yeah.
I'll give you a question, that kind of thing. It's where I met Jared. It's where I ran into Misty again, who was in the district that I used to live in. You know what I'm saying? So when he came after us, when he said that we were a part of a gang, and he said, "Hey, dude," and is this enough transparency for you? And he misspelled enough, and that kind of thing. I thought, well, that was rude. All I wanted to know was, were you going to come on or not? You know what I mean? And he wasn't going to come on because he claimed he had no handlers, but he's got a bunch of handlers. He's got everybody on that East Tennessee conservative board to make sure that they pulled him across the finish line, because Tate was very close as far as votes go, to catching him. And had it not been for them, my opinion, I don't know that he might win, maybe not, but I think maybe it was a little bit tighter. I just think that he had, 6 or 7 handlers that were already commissioners or trying to run for commission that were helping him along the finish line there. You know what I mean? So, and if that makes him angry, I'm sorry, but he won the seat. So for the next 4 years, he's going to have to deal with me at some of these commission meetings if he votes ways that I don't think he should, based on the fact that he claimed that this was the type of commissioner that he wanted to be, right? You know what I mean? So let's see. Scrappy Dog says Rio's not only taking over the small churches, but also getting their members elected into political positions. And don't forget Rio Church. And then Shayna Kirkland says, thank you for the inviting everyone. I enjoyed it. I think it was odd that everyone that in the East Tennessee conservative group was pushing getting elected, and the group is associated with the Rio churches. Not everybody was invited to participate. That she's just saying the same thing that you were saying, and so and some of that is probably more fact than false. You know what I mean? So I don't know all these people personally. I don't know what churches they go to. I know that they're a part of that. If they all attend Rio churches, that's news to me, and it's not really anything that I don't care. You know what I mean? If that makes sense, where they go as far as religiously. So I just want to know that they're listening to their voting base, which would bring us into the whole Pellissippi Parkway extension. What do you think about that, Jason? All this has come out real quick here lately.
Yeah, there's nothing that can be done there.
I kind of feel the same way as you. You know what I mean? I was hoping that we could kind of play like, you're against it, and then I play the role of being for it. You know what I'm saying? The Walmart and where it's coming out at, and how efficient it's going to be for me to commute to those places and get to Knoxville and to Townsend. All the while, you don't like it. Tell me why you don't like it, and then we pull up all this information that's been shared here the last 3 or 4 days, where it's come out that looks like TDOT wants to get somewhere in the neighborhood of like $5 million, maybe more, to pay out the right of ways. and I'm just paraphrasing that. Once I get into the details of it, it'll probably be a little bit more self-explanatory. I will say this: I got the thing that Kevin had. I got the thing that Matt Snow sent me. That's got the PDF, and then I got the thing that Misty Dawn sent us. Misty Dawn Davis sent us, or me, where she talks about this is the whereases of the whole thing, and she came out ahead of this and publicly said that she was voting no on this. So tomorrow, my son is still in town. I don't know if I'll be at the workshop tomorrow, which is talks about this. I guess the money that's involved with this PPE Pellissippi project extension project, Pellissippi Parkway extension project. So, Jason, how does the workshop? Is anybody allowed to? I know they get what? Do they get 3 minutes for their agenda, and then they get
Yeah.
3 minutes at the end? Do the commissioners actually talk back, especially if the question's good? I know if you follow the Roberts rule, you might get something with them. Maybe not. I don't know. But so even at the workshop, there's not a lot of. So they should deliberate, right? There should be a lot of back and forth about.
That was my thing.
Tomorrow, correct? When you think, I mean, you got 21 people up there, right?
Yep.
And so they should talk about this. Let me pull it up real quick. But what are your dislikes about it?
Well, they're the money they're using. They're taking money from all sorts of other projects, from Farragut, Maryville, uh, some other parts of Knoxville,
Alcoa. I think it's
and
Alcoa. Yep.
they're taking money from several projects. The Boyd's Creek project, they were allocated $2 million for that to do that, whatever it is, and they cut it down to $2,900. The
They cut
budget.
it. Okay, so let me find a spot for you and me here. How do we do this right there? Nope, that's not that one. Picture in picture, there's that one. How about that? Can you see that on your screen?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can read it or not. I'll read it out loud. So this is from Kevin J. McNeil. This is a day ago. It says $17 million of cash and land to transfer to state for Pellissippi Extension Project timeline improvement. On May 5th, 2026, the Maryville City Council approved giving the Tennessee Department of Transportation $3.9 million to move up the Pellissippi Parkway Extension Project from 2036 between 2028 and 2033. Says the funds will be used to purchase property along the planned route, and the vote was 4-0, with one council person out of town who would have voted yes as well. The Alcoa Commission and the Blount County Commission still need to vote to fund their share. The financial commitment from each local agency over a 4-year period, fiscal year 27 through fiscal year 30, to fulfill their end of the agreement is Alcoa is $2,070,000, total of $517,500 annually. Maryville is $3,900,000, total of $975,000 annually. Blount County is $5 million, which is $1,250,000 annually. Blount County Industrial Developmental Board, the DB Blount, which is $6,029,700 in donated land, the right of way. Sounds like the industrial board has a piece of property. I'm understanding that. It says the IDB Blount will be transferring prime land within the Pellissippi Place Technology Park in lieu of the $6 million cash for the use of the right of way. Contract weakness. It says I reviewed the contract between the state of Tennessee and Maryville, Alcoa, and Blount County. Clearly favors the state and fails to protect the municipalities, referred to as the agencies and contract interests. The contract has several gaps that put the local government at risk. While the cities and the county must pay their millions of dollars on a strict schedule, the state has no set deadline to finish the work or even start construction. Also, if the state fails to follow federal laws, the local governments must pay for 100% of the cost if the state fails. Finally, the local governments are giving away land for the road, but the contract does not say they get the land back if the project is ever abandoned. So that's Kevin J. McNeil on that thing, and let me do this here real quick. He's got another one. This is from Misty.
56 properties is what they're going through with this thing.
I don't know how many properties he's got. I'll pull the
56.
I do have a PDF of the and I'll pull it up here in a minute when we get done reading Misty's thing. It shows the land track where it goes from the end of Pellissippi there, like at Eagleton Village area, Jackson Hills, all the way through Sevierville Road and onto 321, where it comes out somewhere around the area just above Kensington Place, and I'll show you what it's going to do with that right there specifically. So Misty says, over the weekend, my phone has absolutely blown up about the Pellissippi Parkway extension resolution. Misty Dawn Davis, this is, she is I think she's District 6 Commissioner. This project is a TDOT project, meaning normally the state of Tennessee would handle the highway and the land acquisition for it. But now Blount County taxpayers are being asked to put up $5 million to help buy the land and move the project along faster. To some East Tennesseans, it reminds them of the old TVA days when families watched government come in buying up land for big projects. I'm not saying this is exactly the same, but I understand why people get nervous anytime government starts talking about acquiring property for a major roadway project. Here's the biggest concern I keep hearing, Misty says. We already have traffic problems all over Blount County right now. School traffic, dangerous intersections, flooding roads, back roads that are now main roads that can't handle the growth we already have. A lot of people in Townsend chose to live there because it's peaceful, scenic, and slower paced, and they're not sitting around saying, please hurry and make Townsend feel more like Knoxville. We are about to have a new county mayor, and Tennessee will eventually have a new governor. Leadership at TDOT will look differently in the coming years, too. Priorities can change, funding priorities can change, direction can change. For the folks in District 6, Allenwick, Clover Hill, Benfield, a slice of Lanier, and a bit of Greenback, I will be voting no. And she pulls up this, all right, you can see it. And it says it's the resolution to enter in a contract with the Tennessee Department of Transportation, TDOT, the City of Maryville, the City of Alcoa, and for the construction of SR 162 Extension Pellissippi Parkway from near 33 to SR 73, which is US 321. Where it says, whereas the Tennessee Department of Transportation has presented a local agency, and I'm going to have to put my glasses on. Hang on. Let's see. Scrappy Dog says the project should be put on hold because the board will be changing hands, and those new members will not have a chance to get their constituents' voices be heard. I agree with that, and I've heard that very thing right there. Let's see. When it came to just what you're saying, Scrappy Dog, that what I heard is that with exception to at the moment Misty saying no, that everybody else might vote for it, whereas the new commission they may have trouble getting it passed, is what I was told, but not sure. It says, whereas Blount County Commission has determined that the above referenced project will benefit Blount County, Tennessee, and the citizens thereof. Did you hear that, Jason?
Yep.
It says right here, whereas the Blount County Commission has determined that the above referenced project will benefit Blount County, Tennessee's, and the cities thereof, and the city of Maryville, the city of Alcoa, and Blount County are vitally interested in the economic welfare of their citizens and wish to provide necessary leadership to enhance the area's capabilities of growth and development. And Blount County Commission wishes to cooperate with the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation in the construction of the SR 162 extension in response to the increased traffic stress on the current transportation infrastructure. And this resolution supports prior resolutions, number 11-10-009, which was passed by a prior Board of Commissioners on 10/20/2011. Is that like Jerome Moon, that board? Not sure. As an acceptable alternative plan for the Pellissippi Parkway extension, SR 162, which is State Route, Blount County, and the PIN number is 101423.00. But anyway, what concerned me was it says the Blount County Commission has determined that the above referenced project will benefit Blount County. And then it goes on to say that Blount County Commission wishes to cooperate with the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation. Isn't the community, all 10 districts in Blount County, talking about no, they don't want this, Jason?
Yeah, well, there are some that do want it,
Okay,
but
so
majority of the people do not.
majority of the people, would you say it's 60-40?
It's probably more than that. I
Okay.
mean, there's probably well, I don't know. With the new people coming in that move that way, they want that, I'm sure.
Well, because they're used to this where they came from.
Right.
But they moved here to get away from that. And here we have it. So let me play the guy that's going to say all the benefits, I think, Do I really think that it will reduce the traffic inside the city of Maryville? Personally, probably not. But as the guy that is going to play the role that wants this, well, yeah, I'm going to tell you that it's going to do that because in order for me to get home, my commute from my house to Knoxville, I no longer have to go through the city of Maryville or Eagleton Village to get to that. Oh, and then they tell me that they're just putting the road in. All the land on either side of the road is just going to be pristine farmland. They're promising not to do any type of zoning that would bring in more corporate businesses. Well, Jason, that's what they told me, so I believe them since I'm playing this role. Do you think that's true?
No, they'll have to put exits on it, and every exit will be a gas station or a Dollar General. I guarantee there'll be Dollar Generals up and down through there.
Well, if I'm going to get off at that road, it would be convenient to have a gas station right there. But they reassured me that wouldn't happen, that because they were really interested in the rural area of our community. And so I'm going to believe that that's what they're going to do.
Yeah. This project wasn't supposed to kick off till 2033, I think.
That's what it
or
said.
36.
Right here. Yeah, I think it's 33, 36, right? So let's go on. So then it says, and said agreement is incorporated herein by reference, the same as if copied herein verbatim, with a copy of said agreement attached hereto. Those are all lawyer Jarnigan right there. It says the terms and conditions of said agreement are submitted by the State of Tennessee Department of Transportation, are accepted and approved by the Blount County Commission, and Blount County shall fulfill all obligations concomitant thereto. It's concomitant. Concomitant. thereto, and Blount County shall fulfill all obligations, right? The Tennessee Department of Transportation is requiring $5 million local match from Blount County to be paid over a 4-year period beginning the fiscal year of 26-27. And the Government Accounting Standards Board, number 54, allows transfers of committed fund balance from Debt Services Fund 151 to General County Fund 101 with County Commission approval. So it's saying that this is already done, but they need that fund moved from here to there, and that's County Commission approval. Is that what the talk is going to be about this Thursday, tomorrow? So Scrappy Dog says it's more of a way for the elites to get from the airport to what will become Townsend without having to drive through Maryville and have to deal with the serfs along the way. It's going to open it up for a lot of things. Passage for Oak Ridge, all that good stuff like that. So I'm going to have a Walmart real close to me, which I really thought that idea had been scrapped, and then now it's not. So I'm going to have a highway that's going to be close to me. I'm going to be able to get to all these places much more faster, and I'm not going to have to go through Maryville anymore to do that. It says, as of June 30th, 2025, Blount County has $23,190,735 of committed fund balance and projects to have $24,400,000 as of June 30th, 2026. The committed funds to be transferred are a result of accumulated unspent revenues committed to the fund by the Commission over previous years that included unspent local option sales, tax, interest, income, and with this transfer, the debt service fund balance will remain at a healthy balance of $19,400,000. So the taxpayer is paying for that.
Well, sure.
Trying to get this thing to go down. It says more.
Did one of them parts say that if the state fails, they're still getting all 60 million or whatever?
That was the article from Kevin over the 17 million that's being distributed through, and that's where the 2033 through 36 date came into. So this is the beginning stages of that whole thing. Do you see what I'm saying? So this is the first 5 million plus what, if I'm saying this correct, I tried to get some people on tonight that knew, that were probably more knowledgeable in this right here, and they had to work. So I told them that I would even make a special day. We could go over it on another night, run another show where the he can actually go through it in better detail than me, because this is from Misty. This is what she sent out on Facebook, letting everybody know these things have already transpired. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And so I think they want, a big turnout for tomorrow. My son leaves late Thursday night. He's in the Army to go back to where he's stationed. He's been home for a few weeks. So they're doing like a little last ditch cookout with him on Thursday. And I'll more than likely go to that, but we'll be able to find it on YouTube at the commission meeting. But I would suggest that if you can't be there, that you would email your commissioner in your district. It's all public knowledge. It's on that, what's the blountcounty.gov website, I believe, where it shows all 21 of them, that you would email them and let them know, or show up tomorrow. I guess the more people that are there, it shows a sign that they're concerned about what's going on with the county and the community. I can tell you this for a fact, that if you complain on Facebook or any other social media and you don't write a letter, you don't write an email, you don't make a phone call, or you don't show up, they're going to do what they want. And they're going to stand by their opinion that that they're doing what the constituents are asking them to do, because when you've got 1,200 people voting in a district that's got 10 times the amount of people. You know, they got 12,000 in the district. You know what I'm saying?
19,000 in mine.
Yeah, and you got, you know, maybe 1,900 that voted. You know what I'm saying? But then you got the other, you know, the other people that are complaining about, you know, this type of. They don't like what's going on, but you have to show up. You can't just complain. There has to be action behind it. You know what I'm saying? Jason, you ran for commission in your district based on the fact that you thought change was needed on some of these things that we're talking about tonight and many others. You know what I'm saying? But instead of complaining about it on Facebook, you actually went door to door and you know, you ran a small campaign and, you know, you gobbled up, it seems like 300 or 400 votes. You know what I mean? And that's
600.
okay. 600. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to make it sound like that. I don't remember off the top of my head because it's been a week now. You know, but still, man, that's time and sweat. That's sweat equity that you put in. You know what I'm saying? Versus just complaining on Facebook about what you don't like. And look, there's some good people that talk on Facebook that, you know, when they're in the comment section, they're pretty knowledgeable about what they're saying. Some of these people show up at commission meetings. I see some of them that are talking this way, so kudos to them. But there are some that talk like that that are smart, and they don't show up. You know what I mean? Then they don't want to do the, you know, what you did, Jason, in order to, you know, that sweat equity to try to make a difference. You know. So, but we have a lot going on with like what is it? Industrial developmental boards. You got Blount partnership. You got I don't know. It just seems like there's a ton of NGO, you know, boards that are in this community. Yeah, that have, you know, seems like they have a lot of pull on what's going on. They seem to have. I think I saw something from Kevin J. McNeil where they have money budgeted to them. Some of these entities through taxpayer, and they're supposed to be nonprofit type stuff, you know. But anyway, again, that's for a discussion where I don't understand that. Why can't we get some of these people to come on here? I mean, Jason, are we not nice people? I mean, we just want, you know, let's see. It says Scrappy Dog says the Alcoa Highway restructure was to be the first leg of the system with only one exit onto Pellissippi Parkway. But it would be nice to have, you know, some people that were knowledgeable in these areas, you know, that would come on and just give 25 or 30 minutes of an explanation, you know, a discussion. These discussions are needed. They're.
I mean, just by reading what I've read just today, there's no stopping it. None. I don't care if the whole county's there. They're not gonna, because they've already, the Morganton Road project, the Severa Road project, the Boys Creek project, that's already on the books. They're done. You know what I mean? They already know they're not going to do it. I don't know what they were going to do on the Severa Road project or the Morganton Road project, but it's already online that they've done away with those projects because that's the Morganton Road and Severa project was 19 point something $million that they're going to put into the extension now instead of those.
So TDOT
Yeah.
took the projects then, if we're understanding that correctly, right? So I know I could pull up Kevin's thing again, but what I got is this. It's 64 pages, okay, but there's only 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, like 10 pages that pertain. Well, what I was showed was these 10 pages probably are the most important out of the 64-page report. Not to say that it's not all important, you know what I mean?
Sure.
because it's a final environmental impact statement and record of decision. I even have what was it, a recording of a board meeting where they talk about this and they actually approve, if I could find it, and play it. But anyway, let me share this real quick, Jay. See what you think about this right here. I'm going to leave us like that because I got to looking. When I turn our faces the other way, our names are right in front of our head. So it says, I was told to go to page 3. And to get to page 3, as you can see, there's let's see, Pellissippi Parkway extension. It goes from State Route 33, Old Knoxville Highway, to US 321, State Route 73, Lamar Alexander Parkway. This is the U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Highway Administration, Tennessee Department of Transportation, and this is for Blount County, Tennessee. And apparently these are people that they copied. Anyway, right here's what we're talking about. Go ahead.
I also read that the talks of this started in 1977.
I heard rumor a long time ago that a lot of this stuff was already pre-planned then. You know what I mean? So, but this list of figures, it's privately owned residential buildings, permits by jurisdiction, land use in the project vicinity, Blount County zoning along the selected alternatives, urban growth boundaries, percent minority of impacted block groups, percent low income of impacted block groups, and then the most interesting thing, Kensington Place layout. So there's page 3. Let me go to 3. Page 3 is a map. Right here. And as you can see, it says where the project begins and the project ends. Right here is Eagleton. I'm believing this is Jackson Hills and all of that, Rockford, so on and so forth. And then it goes through all of that. See there? Right here, Sevierville Road. So it's going to have it looks like it's going to have a interchange here where you can get off and on at Sevierville Road from this specific exit. And then to Lamar Alexander Parkway. And where it comes out right here is right next to Kensington Place. And then, of course, Walmart is, right down here a little bit. You know what I mean? So 13, 14, and 15. I read the biggest part of this, and I don't pretend to understand it all, The gentleman that sent it to me, he really understands it. Right here, 13. So this is a Blount County privately owned residential building permits, and it goes from 2005 to 2022. So in 2005, it was up there, 1,007 building permits. You see that?
Mm-hmm.
And drastically, it starts to drop. And you got 8, 9, 10, 11 right through here. And then from 11 on, it just gradually starts to grow. I really believe. What's that?
Oh, it's 9, 10, 11. We was in a depression.
Especially from 7 through that, yeah. 2008, yeah. For sure.
Obama.
Yeah. And this is also, I think, when the Blount Partnership really started getting more involved in things and the industrial developmental boards and all that. But as you can see, the number starts to climb. 22, it drops just a little bit, but you're still up there around the heavy 800s, low 900, building permits. And if you go to 14, these are privately owned residential buildings permits by jurisdiction. And so you got Maryville, Alcoa, and then unincorporated Blount County. Didn't realize Blount County was unincorporated. Did you? I thought we were I thought we were incorporated. But as you can see, like you said, through the depression, we call it depression, through the down years there, low, but it grew. Maryville growing quicker than Alcoa, and then in 2014, Alcoa just jumps, boom, 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 and then Maryville looks like tries to keep up with them in 2017, and then it's just sort of been a little bit of a battle. But while all that's going on in Maryville and Alcoa, look what the county's been doing.
Huge.
Growing, yep.
Double everybody else.
Yep. And then 15, here it is,
so
is
proud.
another. What's that?
Oh, I said I'm so proud.
But it shows the parcels of land here. You know what I mean? Agriculture's that color, commercial, industrial's blue. You realize we already here, so on Sevierville Road, where this is going through, there's a solar panel farm. You been that way, Jason?
No, I didn't know there was a solar panel farm.
Yeah. There's a solar panel farm. And there's going to be 2 total altogether. So when people talk about they don't want data centers and this, that, and the other, we already got 2 solar panel farms. Then there's a proposed site in the city of Alcoa, at that old Alcoa building, that would be maybe a good site for a AI data center, is what Summit was saying. So it says Blount partnership came in 2000s. Anytime you got my number, the housing bubble popped. 22 was COVID. It's true. 22 was COVID. I think he's looking at the number jumps. But anyway, when you look at the colors that are around here, residential. So when it first comes out, Jackson Hills is right here. Look at all that yellow. That's all residential that's going through there. And then you got public, semi-public, which is that almost red. And then that light green is agriculture right through here, combined with residential around it. And then once you get over, trying to think what road that is. I don't know if it's because here's Sevierville Road. Is that Brown School Road, maybe? Jackson Hills, all that.
The one that goes across, that's Wildwood, ain't it?
Okay. Could very much well be, yeah.
Sevierville,
And then Sevierville Road's right here. And then you got this light greenish, which is agriculture. So all farmland right through here. And then you come back into, after you cross Sevierville Road, I think that's Davis Ford Road. You got residential and, it says vacant and residential at the same time. So apparently that's already been zoned if it's vacant, right?
Either that or it's still vacant. I don't know. Those are subdivisions. Maybe I don't know.
Well, you know where Davis Ford Road is, right? Off of Sevierville.
No. Yeah. I know I've been on it, but
yeah. And then you go back into agriculture again, which ties into a little bit of residential here. Then into all this public, semi-public property. See that?
What does that even mean? What's semi-public mean?
I don't know, but you know what's right here to the right of this or left of this? Kensington Place. So it says future land use. The alignment for the selected alternative. Is this 15? Oh, no. My bad. 15 was the other thing. So 17, 18. Okay. Blount County zoning along the selected alternative. So rule is yellow. Suburbanizing is that, I guess. Limited restriction. The project ends. Along the selected alternative. Again, I don't pretend to know whatever this is all entailing right here. It's just showing the land masses that it's going through. 18 is right here. And so it shows urban growth boundaries. So Alcoa, look how big Alcoa is in this. Rockford's the dark green, and the light green's Maryville. But the property touches Rockford just very little, except for all the stuff that's going on right now with that the Alcoa Highway bypass. And so the AI or the solar panel farm is over there where the sign says "Stop the Pellissippi Parkway." You know where that's at on Sevierville Road? Yeah, so that's where that solar panel farm is. So if the highway goes through there the way it is, that'll be on the right side. That you'll be able to see the solar panel farm.
Okay.
From I believe once that highway is done.
The state owns that?
I don't know who owns the solar panel farm. We did go over an article about it though a few weeks back anyway. And then let's see what's it say.
I wonder why the IDB place, why do they own so much land?
That's a great question. And in the comments, that's asked. You know what I'm saying? Kevin may have given an answer on it. I didn't go through everybody's comments in there, but
I mean, it's almost like China owning property, if you ask me.
Yeah. This is figure 7% minority in impacted block groups. So the light is 0 to 4.99. The darker, I guess, whatever color, as they grow in darkness, you can see that the numbers go from 5 to 9, 10 to 15, 15 to 20, 20 to, says 100. So the purple, this minority is impacted, these block groups. So in the beginning, it's the Eagleton Village area. You see that's impacted greatly. You're talking many homes, if I'm reading this correctly. And then
what's the minority? What is that for? What is that Rip talking about?
These block groups are sections like again, I'm not an expert, so I'm thinking it's affecting homes, 21.3% in this block group 3. Block group 1, it affects 18.7%. Block group 5, it only affects 5.7% because of it being more farmland. You know what I mean? If I'm understanding this correctly. And then you get back into here, which is block group 1 is 14%, but the one it's going to affect the biggest impact is Kensington Place. Do you see that right there?
Mm-hmm. Why is it going to? I mean, why can't they just move it a little bit over to the side? I don't understand that.
It's a good question. This is low income, which I don't know what that means. Low income housing, maybe. It gives percentages, and then again, it physically makes sure that you understand that Kensington Place. What page is that? It's 25 and 28. Okay. See that, Jason?
Yeah.
Okay, Kensington Trailer Park's right here. See that?
Okay.
You see all this right here that's uninhabited?
Uh-huh.
Well, when I went to purchase my Clayton home, they sent me to Kensington Place because they already had them set up and ready to rent or ready to purchase to buy. And so these roads already had pre-set up trailers in there, and they wanted like $100,000 plus for them. And it came
for the lot.
No, not the lot. You still had to rent it for the trailer. So you paid for the trailer already set up.
Oh, okay.
So for example, mine is an eco-built home. It's a trailer. It's $50,000. It cost me $20,000 to have it set up. So I spent $70,000, and they wanted me to come to Kensington and spend $100,000, where it gave me a concrete driveway or asphalt driveway in a building with the home that I already have, but it was considerably more expensive. It was like $650 or $700 a month for the lot rent, and I didn't like that, so I took my stuff and went somewhere else, right? But when I looked up here, anyway, I wanted you to see that part because we talked about, if I can find it real quick, it's got to be 14. Where's the 3? Sorry, guys, hang on. Oh, okay, I remember it was the map now. You saw the map where it showed Kensington Place, correct?
Yeah.
Okay. See this?
Mm-hmm.
See that light red where it shows Project End?
Yeah.
On this map, that piece of property says public, semi-public. So when you go back to this picture right here, they're saying that this area right here is public, semi-public. Well, look at all them houses. Look at all them mobile homes. And all these mobile homes have been here for quite some time in Kensington Place. Now they've added all these new homes. So they've raised the value of Kensington Place.
So
So
there
if
is
they
homes.
remove, there are new homes here, and these are the
Okay.
already, there might be some new homes up here. I don't know. When I drove in there to look at it, I drove over here and saw these already set up. There was like, there's like these rows are already there, full of, ready to sell, move in Clayton homes. If you get pre-approved, you move right in. You know what I'm
Okay.
saying?
So
So this picture was taken before those were all there. Otherwise, you'd see these grouping of trailers here. Can you see my cursor? Oh yeah, you can. Just imagine that here now, but all brand new. So if this area right here is considered public, semi-public, what happens to all these people here? Do they
I hope Kensington
put
Place
them in?
got more property on the right there. I mean the left. Do they?
Does Kensington Place just disappear? Is what I want to know. I'm wondering. If I go by that map, right? If I go back up to here where that map was, again, I graduated Heritage High School. They did a fantastic job. Right here. This shows this this light red, and if you go up here to the light red on the detail, see it?
Why is that not residential, I wonder?
So residential would be yellow.
Right. I said, why is that not residential? There's residents there.
I don't know. Is it because it's a trailer park? Let's see. Scrappy Dog says Clayton Homes bought Kensington Place from the original owners as known as Payne's Mobile Home Park. Okay.
Yeah.
Does Clayton's really own it? Because when I went there I was going to have to go through Clayton's to purchase the trailer, but the lot rent was different. I don't know, Scrappy Dog. You might be right. I don't know. But still, that would be interesting if Clayton's bought Kensington Place. You're right. I remember when it was Payne's Mobile Home Park.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
When you were talking about Kensington Place, I didn't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, that's what it is.
I knew it as Payne's.
So, and then look across the road from Kensington Place. Isn't that old gas station that used to have all the old cars sitting out in front of it? Now it's just an empty parking lot with the building on it.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it looks like all that's going to be gone. If I'm reading this right. So, for me, Jason, where I live, just to come down the road right here, get on Pellissippi Parkway, go all the way down to here, get on Alcoa Highway, and head to Knoxville to work is much more convenient for me. But I've lived in this county nearly my whole life. I think more trouble comes from that than good.
I mean, I think it will. I mean, it's gonna ease a lot of people's travels up. I think.
When you
You're
say
gonna
that,
it's, you're bypassing a lot, but there's gonna be a lot of businesses on Hall Road that lose a lot of money
I,
because you know instead of that extension, they use Hall Road to get that way. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, because they go down and hit Lincoln, and then come up to Wildwood Road. You know what I mean, or Sevierville Road, or whatever. I don't know. All I know is that most of the county, everybody that I've talked about doesn't agree with this. They don't want it, and so let's see what the commission does. Oops, I was kind of thinking that you're only going to see one or two or three no's. I don't know if I'm guessing. So we know Misty said she was going to say no. Jeff Michaels, he's not going to be commissioner after August.
He'll say no.
He generally says no, so I'm going to guess that he might say no. Let's see, Jessica Hanna, I don't know. She sometimes does, sometimes don't. Uh, maybe no. I don't know if I'm guessing. Other than that, I don't know. You think Jared? What do you think Jared will do? I mean, he's going to be mayor.
That's a hard one because he got to be part of the good old boy system. You know what I mean? He has to.
That's a good question.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to see.
Yeah, very much so. Well, my uneducated ass did all of that. I was trying to bring it to everybody's attention what's going on with the Pellissippi Park extension, and there's probably a whole lot of people out there that already know. So we have to show up, or we have to email, or we have to make phone calls. Let the people know that represent your district. It's something that you're heavily against or you're heavily for, however that may be, so they know how to vote. They vote for this next Thursday,
Yeah.
the 21st, but the workshop, you'll pretty much know how it's going to happen tomorrow, come next Thursday.
I got public land and semi-public are actually two different things.
Okay.
Public land is government owned. This category includes land and facilities owned and operated by federal, state, county, city government entities. And then semi-public land is institutional and private owned. This category includes land owned by private nonprofit or religious organizations that serve public or quasi-public purposes. Examples could include religious organizations, private educational facilities, nonprofit institutions, and fraternal organizations, which a mobile home park does not fit into any of those categories.
That's wild.
It's not a religious center. It's not a private educational facility. It's not a nonprofit institution, and it's not a fraternal organization, so.
Fraternal would be like a police, right? I
Do
would
what?
think. Fraternal would be like the police, right?
Property owned by organizations like the Masons or similar groups.
Wow. I'm curious as to how much of Kensington Place is going to go. Part of it, a third of it, all of it, none of it. It just looks awful close. And then when you look at that map and it shows it's semi-public, whatever it was I said.
Public, semi-public.
Yeah, public, semi-public, yeah.
Institution.
Yeah. Well, Jason, I got a lot out of you tonight. Look here, Scrappy Dog says it's going to dump even more traffic out on 321 like it does East Broadway. Now, here's the other thing. Once we tie all this together, well, then you have to worry about what they're doing to Townsend. Because they want to, I say they, I don't know who they is, but they want to develop Townsend so that it's like,
Yeah.
somebody told me it was like a place in Arizona, maybe. I forget what it's called.
I don't like that they're making a parking lot in the mountains. You know what I mean?
You think Townsend will be a parking lot or?
I mean, the mountains are becoming that way. You
Yeah.
know, last time I went to at Christmas time, I had to go to right there at the end of Townsend. What's that?
Where's Valley?
It's like, yeah, right before you turn to Where's Valley. What's that store right there? Co-op or something like that? Or True Value? What was it?
Are you talking about the IGA that's got the social and all that in it?
No, it's like a farm store, farmy type store.
Oh, okay. I'm not sure.
A hardware store, the hardware store.
Yeah, Ace Hardware's down that way.
Ace Hardware, okay.
Yeah.
I had to go there, and as I was driving down that road, down 321, I was looking up towards the mountains. I was like, all them houses is it's bad. I mean, it's a pity. I don't think they should be able to do that. They're destroying the mountains.
Yeah, it says Scrappy Dog says, don't think Jim Clayton don't know how to play the tax game. Yeah, I see. And yeah, it's Ace Hardware. Ace Hardware. So I got a lot of communication out of Jason tonight. That was amazing. Yeah. You get more comfortable, I think.
Well, I knew what you was going to talk about, so I got to
get a leg up. Is that what I need to do? Is give you a heads up so that you can kind of.
Well, it helps me know more.
Right.
Because evidently there's a lot online about this.
There's a lot of communication. I mean, people made events, that were posting about making sure that you were showing up tomorrow for the meeting. And, so Daryl G. Monday, he's another one. Man, that dude knows a lot. You know what I'm saying? He's on there between, I don't know, him and Kevin and some of them out there. They just seem to have a little bit more insight. I think it's because they deal with the inner workings of Blount County differently than we do out here in the real world,
I wonder if Google will tell us about IDB and why they own so much property. I just don't like that. I mean, it just seems like now another country buying land. I mean, buying land in this country. To me, that's what it looks like.
It's exactly what I think it is. How they acquired it's what I don't understand. To be able to use it, if I read that right, it said they were giving up the right of way in lieu of $6 million, right?
Right.
So they acquired the property. Now they're giving it up for $6 million. Is that how you understood that?
Yeah, but did they acquire the money with the funds that they have Blount County taxpayers is giving them? I mean, that's just kind of like
I mean, let me pull that up real quick.
the IDB of Blount County and the cities of Alcoa and Maryville own significant land to facilitate economic development through strategy of acquiring property, developing industrial parks, and managing tax incentive deals. By holding the title to the land and facilities, IDB acts as a nonprofit developer. Okay. So they buy, what I'm saying is they buy up all this land that they can, and they're like, hey, Amazon, come here. We got some land.
Yes.
Smith and Wesson, whoever. We got land for you. Come look at what we got. By holding the title of the land, the IDB acts as a nonprofit developer, allowing companies to operate under payment in lieu of taxes. The pilot program agreements, which reduce property tax burdens for new businesses to encourage them to locate in the region. Okay, right there, Smith and Wesson, Amazon. It talks about it. That's exactly what they did. What it said. The IDB holds the deed to the properties and leases it back to the companies.
So I knew that
Amazon and Smith and Wesson. They're making bank.
And it shows right here that $3 million a year. How does that say? The 101 General Fund Department. See, that's the fund that they're TDOT's trying to get that money moved from 151 to 101. And right here it shows. Let me show you real quick.
Look, it says the IDB purchases and holds land such as 236-acre Partnership Park North to ensure shovel-ready sites are available to compete for major projects. So they own at least 236 acres right here.
And right here it shows, then, does see that? The 101 General Fund Department annual budget. Sheriff's Department gets 21 million. The jail gets 15 million. You see that?
The building that's across from the hospital?
Yeah.
15 million.
So the jail gets 15 million, then the Sheriff's Department gets 21.
Nice.
And you got Central Services, Circuit Clerk Court, then Industrial Development gets $2,900,000, almost $3 million. Look at this. This is the money that is allocated from the commission. So you got, look at General Sessions Judge, 1 million.
What is that cover?
I don't know. Like,
that's not his salary, is it?
Or there's 2 judges, they split. I don't know. Juvenile court, criminal court. Rabies and animal shelter get $1 million plus. Register of Deeds gets 814,000. Chancery Court. I can tell you this. They make a crap ton of money from criminal court.
Sure.
Right? And the county gives them another 1 million plus.
The Rabies and Animal Center. Where's that at?
I don't know. Local Health Center. What's that mean? It gets almost 2 million. Property Assessor's Office, 1,700,000. See what I'm saying? The Sheriff's Department, the jail. That's more than the whole budget. You got 6, 9, 11, 13, 15, 17, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28. I was going to say 29, 30, 31, 30. The sheriff's department's half the budget.
Yep.
Between that and the jail, it's half the budget. And they make money. They make money off of holding inmates because the jail's always overcrowded. They're all the time getting bitched at about it. But when I got to spend my 4 days there was a lot of people in there because they're holding federal inmates. So they're making money there too.
They got federal inmates at the county jail.
Yes.
Instead of the federal inmates going to a penitentiary,
Yes.
they just hang out there.
Here's the thing. If you're a federal inmate, they're not allowed to sleep on the floor. Right?
No kidding.
Yeah. Because they're federal. They're federal, you know what I mean? They're not allowed to sleep on the floor. So if you're in there and you got a bunk and it's overcrowded and a federal inmate comes in, they'll put you on the floor and put the federal inmate on there because they can sue. Let's see. It's
Nice.
a call. Scrappy Dog says it's Blount Animal Control and Public Health Department. Hell, maybe I should ask Scrappy Dog to come on. He seems to know a bunch about this. But yeah, other general administrations. What does that mean? He gets 1,171,000. Other general administrations. Planning and development. Did you see that? So we got the Industrial Developmental Board here gets almost 3 million. Planning and development gets 1 million, almost 500,000. Data processing, 2,500,000. Public safety projects. What the hell does that mean? Almost 3 million. I will tell you this, because when Kevin put that out, my question was, is this something that the commission votes on? And his reply says, yes, but it is buried in $86 million general fund 101 budget, so it is never discussed at commission meetings. Should be a grant discussed publicly on proposed resolutions, in my opinion. And then somebody went on to ask if they did like itemized lines, you know what I mean? So when I said, go ahead.
That Central Services, he gets a bunch too. Wonder what that is.
Services. Yeah, I don't know what it is either. It actually gets almost 6,500,000. You know, some of these things they could say, oh, that's because Central Services belongs to water, sewer, public works, stuff like that. You know what I mean? Oh, okay. You get that. You got to have that. You know what I mean? So, and then the election commission gets $800,244 annually. The election commission. Accounting and budgeting.
Central Services and a government entity acts as an internal support department that provides shared administrative and operational services to other government departments. Instead of every department managing its own purchasing, mail, or facility maintenance, Central Services consolidates these functions to improve efficiency, reduce costs, and maintain standardized procedures.
Sure. I mean, it's almost 6,500,000. Are we reducing cost?
Right. They manage procurement and purchasing, facility and asset management, mail and printing, fleet management operators, operates motor pools and maintains government vehicles, administrative support, technology, and
Government vehicles.
So,
yeah. Scrappy says it doesn't matter who votes. It matters who counts the vote. For sure.
100%.
Probation services, $885,000. I can tell you right now that should be cut in half. They got way too many of them bastards inside there. Period. I would rather take half of the probation services fund and add it to the Parks and Fair Boards fund. So
I want to write some of that down so I can find out about it. I want to know what. I know what them are. Oh, other general administration.
I know.
What is that? And two other.
And General Sessions judge. Very interesting. Quote by Lenin. Yeah. Also quote by Biden. He said it. I got the recording somewhere. It doesn't matter who votes. It matters who counts the votes. You done looking at that?
It's
on Kevin J. McNeil's page.
Oh, okay.
It's 3 days ago. 3 days ago. The top of it says $3 million a year IDB Blount is how it starts out.
Okay.
That's wild, ain't it? All that money.
It's a lot of money. No wonder they're got billboards across America begging people to come here.
Yeah.
Need that money.
Wouldn't it be wild to hear that there's commercials in California that are talking about coming to Maryville, Tennessee? You know how we see commercials for other states trying to promote their tourism. So you got what, Blount tourism?
Yeah. That woman told me, I can't think of her name right now. Crap. She says that Blount Partnership, yeah, they're the ones who put them out. The commercials.
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
She said, as a matter of fact, they advertise. No, this is hearsay. I've never seen it myself. But she said they advertise how great Maryville is for the homosexual community. I don't know how else to say that.
Check it out, man. Ed Reno's on
Rumble?
No, he's on YouTube. I just didn't know it.
Oh.
So it says he says, "Hey, I'm over here."
He started out on Rumble.
I know. I like that he went over there though, because it gives us some traction, you know what I mean? So he says, have you guys seen the Walmart development on 321? Walls are going up, walls are growing. We're growing out of here for sure. That is for sure. And then let's see, he says, if he starts riding in the back of a white Cadillac, I'm out. I don't know what that means. Walmart needs a good road for their trucks to deliver to the new stores, direct to the interstate. Let's go talk to them. I have a hard press pass. Well, that's cool. At least that's a little bit of traction there. You know what I'm saying? Thank you, Ed, for doing that. And Shayna, she's the only one that commented on Facebook. I really thought there'd be more people on Facebook talking about this. I'm going to blame it on Robert and Crystal. We'd have more people talking if they were on here running their mouths.
Maybe.
I don't know. But it was a good place to start to blame. Although I'm probably wrong. But anyway. Well, dude, we've been doing this for an hour and 47 minutes. Hey, what'd you think of the new intro video?
I like it.
You like that? It was
I
the
didn't
caught
get
up.
to see it.
What's that?
I heard it, but I didn't see it. I didn't.
You didn't play it when I shared it on our group chat?
No. Yeah, I did.
Yeah. Well, tonight's the first night that I played it. I removed the other one. The other one was the caught up. You know, it was the intro video for caught up. But a lot of those guys that I used in the video, like they had podcasts. You know, like our four of us on podcasts. Well, they have the same podcast but different people. So they're not all on there again. So it was time to make a new one. And I thought, since we've done enough stuff between Blount County Breakdown, you see how I did it. Blount County Breakdown, I showed all of us, and then Candid Conversation, me and Robert, and then Caught Up, it was just me. And then the other guys. And then Kevin said I could use his Facebook page. I reached out to him. I reached out to Bluntly Conservative to see if they were okay with me using theirs, but they never answered. And so I did it anyway because they share out some good information there too. But anyway, I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah.
Well, I like the other one. I like the other one.
You like the other one too?
No, I liked it better. It was just, it was just kind of ominous. I don't know how to say it. It's
right.
Like it is acting, in the dark, kind of, so to speak.
Now, on the Caught Up episode, I got the intro video. It's got the Forsyth group, same as this one. But anyway, it needed to change because those guys that was promoting on that video, they don't have a podcast like that altogether anymore. So, but it was definitely fun. It took like 4 hours to make, though. It was crazy. So anyway, I guess, Jace, we should call it an evening. Should have everybody back next Tuesday, as far as I know. And go ahead.
Was Alan on Facebook?
Not tonight. Only Shane is the only one that has replied on Facebook. It showed that we only had like right now it's got 2 current viewers. Yeah, not a lot of people watched tonight at the moment. So, and then Ed did the solid on YouTube, which was cool. But a lot of people watch the replay. So like on Rumble, the numbers will climb by like tomorrow afternoon. It'll be up there around 100 views, 75, 80, 100 views, that kind of thing. So, but anyway, but with that being said, brother, I'm going to get off here and call it an evening. I appreciate you coming on with me.
No problem.
Yeah. And I will do a better job of making sure that you have the information on what we're going to talk about.
That'll work.
Okay, man. I'll talk to you later, Jason. You have a good evening, brother.
All right, you too.
All right, bye.
See you.
All right, folks. We'll play a song or two of People on the Porch as we get out of here for the evening. Like, share, and follow. It's kind of slow night. But odd that after the election, in the primary, that these things are going to take place the way that they are. Kind of par for the course in our county. So, yeah, man, peace out. Scrappy Dog, Kim, Ed Reno, all you guys, Shayna. Thank you. Have a good evening.
My heart, pumping all day long, getting me to morning when darkness comes. My heart, ooh. It takes so long to mend. It's hard.